All right, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honor to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS as well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Ainal. The title of this video is Woe to Babylon. And basically, I put some scriptures together, and then I was like, well, let me check the news because, Babylon is failing, so it got to be something with them failing in the news. And I came across this. It says, it's a coincidence. Pentagon admits military presence in Syria has more than doubled. And then I thought about the scripture in Joel 2 that says he will remove far from us the northern army, which is Babylon the Great, and they're drawing closer to their end, right, their demise. It says the number of U.S. troops in Syria is actually more than twice higher than previously reported, and it's going to continue. It says, however, Washington insists that it's just a coincidence that reinforcements were sent before the collapse of President Bashar Assad government. So, with the collapse of, this guy over here in Syria, the U.S. troops has, I guess, flocked over there, and the Most High is steadily removing them, and putting them over there in the Middle East for World War III. It says the U.S. has revealed that it has, which World War III is already happening, it just haven't got nuclear. It says the U.S. has revealed that it has more than doubled its military presence in Syria, and they're doing that a lot with proxy wars, right? Every major party, Iran, Russia, China, Israel, USA, and the rest, they're all using proxy, smaller military groups to do wars for them. Basically, these smaller military groups are backed by the bigger guys, so the littler guys are getting weapons from the bigger guys to fight these wars that will ultimately, branch out to a broader war because the little guys are getting squashed. It says the U.S. has revealed that it has more than doubled its military presence in Syria, with a Pentagon spokesman saying that he had just recently learned there were, in fact, roughly 2,000 American forces supporting the country rather than 900 troops as previously reported, right? And even this number could be more or less, well, more. And it's going to continue to increase because they're going to continue to need people over there to fight against the different troops that they're trying to come against. They still have that ceasefire with Lebanon, and things like that. So it's only going to intensify because they still have a plan and their sights are set on Iran, right? And Iran is backed by Russia. So, that's pretty much the point there. We can see things happening. Prophecy is happening. We can get this. And it's all good and it can't be stopped, right? And the men of the Lord are going to continue to do exactly what they do, through all the tribulations, and the attacks of the wicked. To continue to praise Yahweh Bashmi Shai, right? And hasten the day in his coming. Second Esdras, chapter 9, verse 1, it says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it's the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, the end is manifest. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. And that's why you see the things happening now that you are seeing. Recently in the news, so-called friendly fire between two U.S. fighter jets, it's all over TikTok, right? And I'm in TikTok, I'm looking at the comment sections, people are saying, these aircraft carriers or these jets, they have targeting systems where it knows, who is an ally, who isn't an ally, and things like that. They have advanced technology where they can even look through buildings and things like that. So it's kind of hard to believe the BS that Babylon pushes out regarding this being friendly fire attack. It could have been someone from over there in the area that they are in, the Middle East, right? That attacked them. So these are the signs and effects, and endings of the downfall of this once great place, Babylon the Great. Scriptures say Babylon have been the golden cup, in the Lord's hand. Therefore, the nations are mad. So it was once great, and then also again to scripture where it says how they're falling. Lucifer, which I had just got, and that's because it's the end of Babylon's rule. So getting some scriptures here, it says we get straight to the point. Joel 2:20 says, "But I will remove far off from you the northern army." The northern army is the American army, and will drive them into a land barren and desolate. That barren and desolate land will be the Middle East, Asia, over there in the Levant region, Syria, Israel, Lebanon, Houthis, Yemen, Iran, Iraq, all of that. But I will remove far off from you the northern army, the place that they're fighting over now, right? It says, "But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face towards the east sea, and his hinder part towards the utmost sea. His stink shall come up, his ill savor shall come up, because he have done great things." It says, "Fear not, O land, be glad and rejoice, for the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shai will do great things." So this is talking about Esau Edom, the so-called white man, and his military. And this is going to the fact that the Most High Yahweh Bashmi Shai is drawing closer to this place with the many plagues and the destruction, right? It says, "Be not afraid, ye beasts of the field, for the pastures of the wilderness do spring, for the tree beareth her fruit, the fig tree and the vine do yield their spring." I continue on. It says, "Be glad then, ye children of Zion, and rejoice in the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shai, your power, for he hath given you the former and rain moderately, and he will cause to come down for you the rain, the former rain and the latter rain in the first month. And the floor shall be full of wheat, and the fat shall overflow with wine and oil." And this is basically going to the fact that everything is going to be better. Basically, the Most High is going to avenge us, on our enemies, basically destroy them and set us up. And we will have plenty, be satisfied. So that's what's to come. He's removing this northern army, and he's going to destroy them. And there's many scriptures, of course, that goes into that. One, Isaiah 35. Let me see. I think it's Isaiah 34. Sorry. It says Isaiah 34:1, "Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth from it. For the indignation of the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shai is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter." So that's exactly what's happening. That's why these armies are all gathering over here in the Middle East. And that's pretty much the point. And we'll get even, it says, "Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood." So there's going to be a lot of death. And we're going to get all of that in the scriptures I got pulled up here. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 39. It says, "Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth." Let's start at 37. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, 37. "Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth great pains can pass her womb, which pains when the child come forth they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side." And that's the point. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginnings of famine and great death, the beginnings of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginnings of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute. It says, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victual shall be so good cheap. So, even now people are not understanding the endings and sign and effects, right, of what's happening here in Babylon the Great. People are still counting on Donald Trump to come in office and fix, what they believe to be the one-party Democratic party, that being Biden and his, people are causing problems, and they're thinking Donald Trump, the Republican Party, will come in and fix it, and make everything better, and they can continue on with their abominations, right? It says, but for all these things they shall not turn from the wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. It says, behold, vigil shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And that's exactly what's happening here in Babylon the Great. You can still do what you do, but even now we can see that the prices are rising. The dollar is falling and things like that. And actually, people around the world are going through hell, because these are the effects and signs. But for the most part, people are still able to wiggle around and do what they do. It says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And that's what's coming soon, right? Because we're gonna get to the point where Esau Edom comes down with that great wrath, right? Because we can see prophecy speeding up, and these things are happening, right before our eyes. It says, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. So pretty much it's going to be so much happening. No one's going to bury no one. No one's going to sit here and mourn over the dead. Pretty much because there's going to be too much happening during these times. It's the time of Jacob's trouble, right? This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 1. It says, woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloths of slack. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood? Or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it hath begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The mighty Lord Yahweh Bashmiel shall send the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? It says, a fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence. So that's pretty much the point, going into Isaiah 47. As a matter of fact, I'll get more of this. It says, the earth quaketh, and the foundation thereof, the sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also, before the Lord and before the glory of his power. And this is going into the different signs, tokens, and effects, mentioned in the scriptures, the angels having, the 7 vials and the 7 trumpets and the different plagues that's going to happen, basically going into the destruction of this place. It says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. And that's going into Isaiah 54, around verse 16, because the Most High Yahweh Bashmiel Shai has created the individuals that created these missiles that are going to be shot to destroy this place. Isaiah 54:16, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. So these are the Lord's weapons. It says, behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. So that's pretty much the point. Going into Isaiah 47, the Most High is saying he's going to do all this, and who can stop it, basically. Esau Edom cannot stop it. Isaiah 47:11, it says, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly procrastinators stand up and save thee from the things that shall come upon thee. Right? And these individuals can't help Esau Edom. They can't stop the chariots. They can't stop them going over into these lands, by the hand of Israel, drawing them out for World War III. They can't stop none of this. So we got where I was at. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 8 and verse 50. It says, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. For unto you is paradise open, the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared, plenteousness is made ready, a city is builded, and rest is allowed, yet perfect goodness and wisdom. It says the root of evil is sealed up from you, weakness, and the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past, and in the end is sure the treasure of immortality. So the point that I wanted is in 50, but I'll continue actually and get all of this. It says, and therefore ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish. And I was just watching Elder Apostle Tahar, Elder Apostle Gabar, and the Elder Bishop with their YouTube channel, and they were going into the fact that, let me grab that scripture. I believe it's somewhere here in Ezra's. This is 2nd Ezra 9 and 13. Now I actually read this. This is second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 9. It says, then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. Right, and that's the time to come. That's the time to come, Jacob's trouble. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, and they that have loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. The same must know it after death by pain. And therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished, and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created. So once again, that goes into the Israelites, the elect, now in this time owning everything, and it's all made for us. And the way that we will be saved is by these chariots that are now flying around in the skies, waiting. So it says, and therefore ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish, for when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways. Moreover, they have trodden down his righteous, and said in their heart that there is no God yet, and that knowing they must die. And a lot of the elites, the banking elites, these Jewish banking Rothschild elites, have said the same thing. It says, for as the things aforesaid shall receive you, for as the things aforesaid shall receive you, so thirst and pain are prepared for them. For it was not his will that men should come to naught, but they which be created have defiled the name of him that made them, and were unthankful unto him which prepared life for them. And therefore is my judgment now at hand. So the judgment is now at hand. We can see these prophecies just moving with these people, building up over here in the Middle East. It says, these things have I not showed unto all men, but unto thee. And if you like thee, then answer I and said, behold, O Lord Yahweh Bashmel, now hast thou showed me the multitude of the wonders which thou wilt begin to do in the last times. And we are in the last times, the last days, right? The end. But at what time thou hast not showed me? Zechariah 14 and 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord Yahweh Bashmel will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. And this is what's going to happen when those nuclear missiles hit. And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Lord Yahweh Bashmel shall be among them, and they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. And, that's going into the times to come also, sedition among men, fighting against one another. Let me see. We can grab that in, I believe it's 15. I don't think I got it. Yeah, it's Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and when people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right, and that's the point because we can see these prophecies, being fulfilled with the troops amassing over here in the Levant region. That was the point. This is Jeremiah 16:9. It says, For thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmiel Shai of hosts, the power of Israel, behold, I will cause to cease out of this place in your eyes and in your days the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness and the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride. And it's, so this was talking about, of course, the Israelites, but now, it's Esau's turn. Jeremiah 16:10, it says, And it shall come to pass when thou shalt show this people all these words, and they shall say unto thee, Wherefore hath the Lord Yahweh Bashmiel Shai pronounced all this great evil against us? Or what is our iniquity, or what is our sin that we have committed against the Lord Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, our power? And this is evident even today because these different individuals ask this. I remember when Tucker Carlson pulled up on the apostles, the men of the Lord, GMS, Elder Apostle on down, and he asked, why am I going into slavery? And that's pursuant to Psalms 149, to bind their kings and nobles with fetters of iron. He asked, why is that? And it's because of, the many sins, of the Edomites, of all the nations, right? For touching the apple of the Most High, Yahweh Bashmiel Shai's eye. And that's why. It's for thus saith the Lord. So, so that cease, all that mirth and the spirit's not even here. It's Christmas, and I'll be seeing some lights. I'll be driving around a lot. I'll be seeing some lights, but it's not the same. All right, it's not the same. Things is horrible. People barely can afford different things, or they're afraid about what they're seeing in the skies now. So Lord willing, you were edified from this lesson. Blowing the trumpet. With that, I'll say shalom to those elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.